So the satire joke site called Babylon Bee did this somewhat funny, snarky post. Satan endorses Paula White's new book, Something Greater. Of course, she's dressed in the whole virginal white, and she's a another one of these Masonic, super ultra wealthy, multi-millionaire female pastors, uh, new apostolic reformation, aberrant, fake, apostate Christianity, religious, right oriented, cozying up to and specifically on the, or supposedly on the rolls of the White House with all the cadre of other evangelical turncoats that all support the Kufi, the Church United for Israel, instead of the Church United for Jesus, and then actually preaching the gospel. So you have all the glitz and the glam and the cameras and the professional PR movement, pretty much everything that the world does, but then it just goes, I have the veneer of Christianity to push the messaging of female pastors, aberrant teaching of hyper signs and wonders, money preaching, and to continue the facade that Trump is a Christian. You've got so many different churches and YouTubers and various organizations, Skywatch TV, so many people out there writing books, and it's really important for them to manicure this idea for you that these people are all legitimate born again Christians by throwing their support behind him and really behind this whole movement, that it's really important we bless Israel. That's the most important thing, including usurping the blessing of humanity with the gospel. That comes second to blessing Israel, to making sure that Israel is made the capital of this earth and the organization that the law will descend over the entire earth with their Messiah coming. And so we're getting farther and farther away from people going by biblical scripture and teaching about a coming antichrist and a tribulation that's coming. And everything is being subtly flipped, and not so subtly, being flipped to prepare the earth for the coming antichrist and his kingdom through unbelieving Israel, with what we've been talking about, the religious right, and then also there is the left that plays into it as well. So Babylon Bee, who are not Christians, the satire site, have picked up on this. It's moderately amusing. I don't know what they think as unsaved people on their way to hell when they see these rock star, multimillionaire, apostate Christians being pushed and hugged and given book deals and basically worldwide acclamation, or is that the right word? Acclamation? Acclaim, rather, to buy this chick's book that she's on the front cover. It says, hell, after a long day of going to and fro upon the earth, seeking whom he may devour. True. Satan, ruler of the demons, took a moment to send out a tweet about a new book he was very excited to endorse. Prosperity preacher Paula White's new release, Something Greater. And that's reading the book, people that are on their way to hell, how to be saved. But it is showing them the great hypocrisy within the TV churches, the government, and all of the religious right that are driving towards making sure that the Antichrist can come on the platform that the Bible said he would through deception. And many of the players that are involved in that. It says here, several major evangelical leaders followed the lead of the Prince of Darkness and also sang the book's praises, including, scratch your head, Jerry Falwell Jr., Franklin Graham, and Robert Jeffress. You know, all the people that, well, I don't know about Falwell, but all the people and more who surround Trump and that whole engine of fake Christianity that then they have all these other Christians supporting. White, who is also said to be President Trump's spiritual advisor and pastor, just drink that in for a minute. Spiritual advisor and pastor, she says that we're little Elohim, little gods. Yeah. Accepts all the high praise of her new book by tweeting out, "Blessings will overtake you, Satan. God said so." So the group of people who hate God are definitely seeing that they're being manipulated by this mass marketing campaign of Paula White. And I'm reminded of Trump's words when he was discussing one day why it was that he picked her, because there were so many reputable pastors and human beings that he could have picked that would align with what scripture teaches on so many levels. The reason why he picked Paula, he said, was not because she was a godly woman. No, not because she had a deep spiritual insight to the practices that are in the Bible and the teachings that hold a man and a country and a church together. No, that wasn't it. No, no, no. She had star quality. That's what it was. She had star quality. And it served her well by fleecing the flock to become a millionairess as your favorite pastor. There's an interesting article over here at Christianity Today, which is about as left-leaning, aberrant site as you can find, but they have this very interesting, somewhat creepy photo, if you ask me. I mean, I get people are sitting outside there together, but this is where the cameraman of a 360 decided that he was going to position himself to get this. So you've got this strange he, she, uh, whatever Mrs. Trump is. I'm supposed to believe that this is a woman. Okay. He was given the Kabbalah Tree of Life Award. If you don't know about Kabbalah, it's all about Anana, he, she, divine androgyne worship. So, and then the president that he took over for also had a man that dressed as a woman. So, yeah, it's totally not weird when people in Hollywood and the government, which are just tiny little hair's breadth away one from the other. It's all about influencing. One has the sphere of government, the other has the sphere of teaching you little sermonettes through their crappy music and TV and movies and all the other uh, interviews. I mean, just commercials, everything that books, everything that they put out to influence people, and the people are yes, brainwashed to a degree that I find frightening. So here's she's doing the one eye here because his big giant head is in the way, and I don't know why his head is in the way, but he's obviously leaning over, I think it looks like, to talk to her. And creepy over here, and I do like that haircut, but not the point. She, multimillionaire, fake Christian, is kind of leaning into the conversation, it seems. Now, I don't know if he invited her to, because that could be. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wouldn't be caught dead there. Are you crazy? How a lightning bolt hasn't hit, I have no idea. But these are the people who are setting you up for your forthcoming murders. Yeah, he's the one that signed Noahide. And remember, she had a little jacket that the back of it, uh, regarding immigration, she actually wrote out, "I don't care." Yeah, she's a peach. And then, of course, Creepy over here thinks that we're all gods and that we have no other role in this existence but to send her our tithe. Send me your money. And she has this rhythm to how she talks. And they all do this. All of these hucksters do this. But anyhow, the name of the article is Paula White Kane's Evangelical Support Squad Isn't as Surprising as It Seems. Are you insane? Payne and Griffin. The movement has a long history of partnerships that transcend doctrinal divides. Okay, this one, the long, slow burn to craft Godey gospel and Paul's directions to combat the ecumenical wonderland. And in this article, he actually goes over a book review called Evangelicalism Divided. And in the book, it details these massive missteps that key players along the way made made a splashing, butterfly effect, if you want to call it that, type of impact that changed Christianity by promoting ecumenicism with the intent and the undergirding of we'll reach more people when we compromise. So this is a really important and very good video to kind of show you where we've already been and how they have turned the tide. This steps in now to show you that we're in the death throes of this uh, movement that has so matriculated into the government and beyond to craft the very deception the Bible warns you is coming through the very turncoat leaders that the Bible also warns you, Jude and 2 Peter 2. So this book is all about, well, let me just read this. There has been concern in evangelical circles recently how some of President Trump's key evangelical allies, including Robert Breaker, Jack Graham, Franklin Graham, have promoted White Kane's new book, Something Greater, Finding Triumph Over Trials. On the surface, her supporters are among the conservative white Protestants, which is surprising. For one thing, she is prominently a prosperity teacher associated with the New Apostolic Reformation, a loosely connected group of Pentecostals and Charismatics. For decades, tongue-speaking, I don't think they need to hammer that, but that's fine. Vision reporting prosperity preachers like White Cane have been a theological anathema to more traditional white evangelicals. This is a pretty good article. Some, like Russell Moore, president of the Southern Baptist Convention Ethics and Religious Liberty Commission, have classified White Cane as a charlatan and heretic. One might think that Jeffress and Jack Graham, who pastor prominent Southern Baptist churches, and Franklin Graham, the leader of Samaritan's Purse, a popular evangelical humanitarian organization, and son of Billy Mason, would follow suit. Paula White is also a female pastor, and by promoting her book, Jeffress and Graham, two-term president of the SBC, really are backing a woman who, according to their own denomination, is not submitting to the rules assigned to her by God. At a time when others in their tradition, I hate that word tradition, are prominently clashing over this very issue. In addition, White Cane is divorced, and in SBC circles, divorce culture represents one of the most significant threats facing American society. Well, I mean, there is an aspect to the danger of easy divorce and what it does to families, and much more could be said about that. Sometimes you just have to hang in there, kind of like Yahweh has to hang in there with us. And it's hard and it's difficult and it's frustrating and it's aggravating, but if we want to teach our children how God puts up with us, it's good to sort of live that thing out. And in the Communist Manifesto, Naked Communist Manifesto, it talks about all these different ways that Congress came up with to push certain policies and one of them, this was to augment society, mind you, and one of them was to create easy divorce, right? And so you have all these children growing up that are products of broken homes, broken lives, and then you try to come along with the gospel and they're impenitent, or however you say that word. I don't think I said that the right way, but you know what I'm talking about. They don't want to trust God the Father because they saw their family being destroyed. Their father is no longer in the picture, or their mother, or whatever. I mean, all that stuff has a psychological, spiritual, physical component. And so, yes, divorce is hard. Yes, all that stuff is hard. It is. There's a reason why there is somebody behind the scenes nurturing that along. So much could be said about this. We're going to keep talking about it because this issue of the pragmatism where it's going, and the end result being worked into this theme of creating the very conditions necessary for the Antichrist to come, for people to be tricked through the right and through the left. It's all there, and people, they only see little bits and pieces, but they're not really connecting all those pieces together to see that greater backdrop of where it's all going. And join me for the next one, because we'll discuss all that and so much more.